Welcome to the course overview and briefing for the PaknSave Triathlon. We'll go through most of the race here. This is the briefing for all events except for the kids triathlon, which we will do a separate video clip for. When you attend the pre-race registration, you'll receive a number of items, the first one being a bib number. This is to be worn on your front during the run leg. We need to see it as you cross the finish line. It's optional whether you wear it on the bike leg. Next you'll have a page of stickers. One of these will go around the seat post of your bike. One will be for the front of your helmet, one will be for the side, and the other is for a bag that you can leave in the transition area. You'll also receive a swim cap that you need to wear during the swim. We're more than happy for you to reuse swim caps from previous year to save yourself having a drawer full of swim caps. And then finally you'll receive a timing chip. This is to be worn around your left ankle. Make sure it is securely fastened, it's Velcro, and that needs to stay on you for the duration of the event. On race day, the first task you have is parking. You come off Sawyers Arms Road, turn right onto a shingle road. It takes you up a hill. When you get to the top of the hill, there'll be some officials there directing you where to park. The parking is on the grass. When you exit, you will be driving across the grass and exiting near the gate rather than driving back down the shingle road, so that prevents any bottlenecks. From the parking area, it's around about an 800-metre walk to the transition area, initially along the shingle path, past Lake Tahi, which is the first lake, and past the canoe polo area. You'll then be entering the course. If you are arriving after the first races are already underway, please walk to the extreme side of the track to make sure you're not hindering anybody's progress, especially as you approach the transition area. First leg of the event for all of you, unless you're doing the duathlon option, is the swim. You can see here the course is laid out with the yellow buoys, which indicate the classic tri, which is 750 metres, one lap. The orange buoys going around both of them will be used for the secondary schools event and also the elite draft legal race. That's 300 metres. And then the pink line you can see here just going around one of the orange buoys is for the junior tri, which is 150 metres. If you're doing the classic tri, the 750 metres, you can ignore the orange buoys completely. You can go on either side of them. We will also have some markers on the exit beach to help you with your navigation, because when you are swimming back towards the exit point, it is quite hard to get your bearings, so keep a lookout for those buoys. And if you are doing the classic tri, you can use those orange buoys in the middle of the lake as sort of marker points to stay on the outside of. The swim start will be on the right hand side of the lake. It will be a deep water start around about waist depth. When you exit the water, there is some weed just as you approach the exit beach, so just be mindful of that, and it is quite tricky coming out of the lake. There's a reasonably large step, and it's on shingle, so just be careful, and then once you're up onto the grass you can head to transition. This year's transition will be laid out as you can see in this image. You will exit the swim at the swim exit point and run across the grass to a transition area where you'll turn right. There will be two zones, one that will be on the grass between the access road in and out, and the second zone will be on the car park and the access road out. If you're doing the duathlon, you'll enter the transition at the same space once you've finished your laps on the run, coming in following the blue line which says swim and run exit. You'll then grab your bike and you'll run out on the access road which is leading out following the red line. The gate on the left there, it will be narrow, so please give way and only go single file. When you reach the end of the grass and the mount line, if you are carrying your bike shoes and need to put them on, please pull over to the left and find an appropriate spot rather than blocking the progress of others. Onto the bike. Once you've passed over the mountain line, you bike up Lakes Way, turn left into Greywacke Road, and then you are on the bike course and you complete the number of laps required for your particular event. You do not come back down Lakes Way each lap to complete a lap. You just carry on Greywacke Road, and when you finish your number of laps, then you will turn left into Lakes Way to complete the bike leg and dismount at the same point that you mounted. If you look at this graphic, starting from point A, you'll come out of Lakes Way and then turn left into Greywacky. The turnaround will be just before the NPD station. You'll then head towards McLean's Island roundabout. Again, the turnaround will be just before the roundabout, and then you finish your lap and either carry on to do more laps or turn left into Lakes Way to complete your bike ride. The number of laps required is really dependent on which event you're doing. The Draft Legal Super Sprint and the Secondary Schools Tri are both 2 laps for around about 10 kilometres, and both of those are draft legal. The Classic Sprint and the Terra Firma Duathlon event are 4 laps for around 20 kilometres, and the Junior Tri and the Tri with duathlon options are also 2 laps for around about 10 kilometres. The exact distance really depends on where you start your bike computer, if it's at transition or if it's out on the course. If you would like to see a complete overview of the bike course, wait till the end of this briefing and we will include a complete video overview of the entire 5 kilometre bike lap. Coming off the bike, you'll have the long run back to transition of around about 150 metres. You'll be following this red line that you can see in this image, so you'll be running around the outside of transition, mostly on the grass. You'll then pull a U-turn to run back into transition, rack your bike, and then you'll be running out at the airport end of the transition where you can see the run exit. You'll run a short distance up there and then you'll almost pull a U-turn to come back on yourself and start your laps around the lake. The transition is set out this way to make sure it is fair for everybody. The final discipline of the race is the run. As we mentioned in the transition segment, you will exit the run running towards the airport end of the reserve. You'll then pull a U-turn to come in back past the transition on the access road. Then you'll be directed to your left to run around the edge of the lake. You'll then run past the finish line, you run past the toilets, past the swim start line and commence your laps. You'll go up the grassy hill on the far side of the lake, down through the middle of the 2 lakes across the causeway, and then when you get to the end you'll need to make a right hand turn onto the small pathway that will take you over a bridge and past the lakes they use for canoe polo. You'll then have a little uphill. When you reach the access road at the top of that little climb, you will make a left hand turn onto the access road. You'll then follow that access road all the way back past transition. You'll then carry on to the finish line, or you'll carry on to complete however many laps you've got for your particular race. If you're doing the secondary schools race or the draft legal event, you'll be doing 2 laps on the run for around about 3.8 k's. The sprint triathlon and the terra firma run off the bike is 3 laps, and the junior and the tri or tri duathlon events are both 1 lap on the run. If you're doing the aquabike option, which is the swim and bike only, you'll be starting with the triathletes. So you do your swim and your bike. When you enter transition and go over the timing mat at the end of your bike leg, that will be the end of your race in terms of the timing and the results. However, you can exit transition at the same place where the runners exit and make the short run down to the finish line, so you can have the glory of crossing the official finish line. If you're doing the duathlon option, which is called the terra firma, you'll be starting your race with 2 laps of the run course before doing exactly the same as the classic triathletes. We like to keep the feel for this event fairly relaxed, however there are some key rules. The first one is there is no drafting on the bike leg with the exception of the draft legal and secondary schools race. You need to leave a 12-metre gap between yourself and the rider in front, from front wheel to front wheel, which equates to around about a 10-metre gap between bikes. If you want to make a pass, you have 25 seconds to make that pass. Under no circumstances can you have any music devices in any section of the event, whether that be swim, bike or run. Always treat the roads like they are open and obey the road code. No outside assistance is allowed, and you can find a complete set of all the rules in the event manual. This event is brought to you by the Canterbury Triathlon Club. Please do all that you can to support the club who really maintain the sport in our region. We couldn't do this event also without our volunteers, so please be a good sport. Say thanks to them when you're out there, be respectful, and when it's your turn, please try to volunteer at 1 event per year. Other than that, we hope you have a great race, keep a smile on the dial and enjoy yourselves. We're now going to show you a full video overview of the bike courses. It is sped up, so hopefully We don't make anybody too ill by watching this sped up version, but we'll give you a nice overview of the entire course for the moment. It is really important to note on the bike leg you will notice quite a few cars. This was filmed on a regular working day. On a Sunday morning we will not have any cars on the course. We have got road closure for much of the morning, not all the morning, but most of the morning you should not see any cars on the course.